Alright, welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Greece. We are jumping right in. Hopefully, now that we've kind of stabilized our economic situation, we can work on this power issue a little bit that we have, and then we're going to focus on getting the base requirements to take these offices. I didn't realize, if you look here on the very, very bottom of this giant amount of requirements, you'll see Greece must have an influence on all European member states greater than 5%, and the Greek population must be greater, or the Greek population greater than 5% of the total EU population. So, yeah, I'm not seeing us having an influence of 5% right now. It looks like Osama bin Laden was removed. Um, he looks like he lost his life somehow. Pretty sure the United States had something to do with that. Our interest rate is recovering nicely there. We're down to 8% of effectively 8.04. Not enough that I want to take any more government expenses to boost pop growth yet, but I do really want to. Like, Poland wants to invest, that's fine. I would be open to taking Canadian investment at this point, as our economy is starting to grow. And our interest on debt is going down as well, so that's actually helping immensely. Yeah, if we had no debt payment, we could afford to boost most of our government expenses. And now we're at 8% flat. Yeah, and we'll have Magnox finishing in 109 days. By then, we'll have enough political power. We can also adjust our nuclear energy stance if we need to. $25 billion. How do we accrue that? Because that's probably going to be our expense for nuclear fuel. Yeah, as our power situation is getting worse and worse gradually, incrementally getting worse. We also are at stable growth now over stagnation. And as our GDP growth rate continues to skyrocket, yeah, so we had an 8% growth rate quarter. That's why it went up. Are we friends with Armenia? Sure, let's be friends with Armenia. So you have Montenegro, Serbia, and Kosovo split up now. Poland's trying to invest. I think looking in, we're pretty okay. Are we to the point where we can do foreign investment, really? No. But we do get an 8% return when we do. So we do need to make note of that and take advantage of it. So like Macedonia here, we actually do have some influence on because of the earlier debt payment. It would cost for us to put one road 7 billion. So that's quite a few payment cycles. Our return on investment for that right now is terrible because it's such a big percentage of our budget. Yeah, so rather, once we had no interest payment, that would be more viable. Otherwise, we have to take a loan. Oh, not that much. We would have to take a loan of approximately 7 billion, which would boost our interest rate back over 8%. So, we're not doing that. And then we only get 8% return on anything we've invested after that, so not really worth it. Looks like we got one infrastructure done in Thessaly. The next one will be done in August, and then we'll be working on this R&D facility. I do want to add a fossil fuel power plant again. We'll get another upgrade there. And that may, hopefully that's the last one we need. For 2005. We can also start looking at our troops and our divisions, and considering our resource situation, I think I'm going to go like just plain foot infantry. Like boots on the ground. Anyone we're going to be at war with, that's going to be good enough. Turkey is an exception to that, but we'll figure that out later. Make our payments. Yeah, we just want to get all of our costs as low as we can. And then we have 48 days on Maddox, or Magnox, sorry. We got 100 days on Construction 4. That's an that is another big one for us as the Greek people. Yeah, it's just I have to talk about this. It's a little weird to me that Alexander the Great, I believe he came from Macedonia, and Macedonia is not a part of Greece. When he's known for having the Greek Empire. And Macedonia was a Greek city-state. But I mean, if they are all city-states, I guess they were all independent. And maybe that's more a play on his supposed greatness and his ability to unify peoples under one banner, which is it's a incredible trait to have, I guess. The way that I would say that, an ability. It's kind of like maybe it was common sense. I don't know. Yeah, because I'm not familiar with why recently these would be broke up, though. Other than what happened with like the Ottoman Empire and the Mongols. I believe the Mongols were probably the first group to get all the way into Europe. I'm pretty sure they made it about that far into, and they fought the Austrian Empire at that point, or what would become that. Another part of history I'm not too big on. It's crazy thinking about like the Mongols going through all of China, Russia, Kazakhstan, and then the Middle East is nuts. But I guess if you're effective as a horse archer, makes sense. Case in point, just look at the like Comanches and Apaches in the Americas when they got horses. It did not take very long for them to become very powerful tribes in their own right, at least feared. But here we go. We've got 21 factories still sitting on that 16 industry and 5 military industry that we're not really utilizing. We've got a couple trains, a couple boats. All right. 350. I have to have research Magnox. That's frustrating. I want to just spend it so I don't think I have more political power than I do. And we need 500 billion for the next research slot of GDP, and we're 100 billion short. But in our favor, as we have a lot of space in offices for employees. We probably will be able to grow close to like 460 billion GDP. Our debt to GDP is almost 100%, down from like a peak of 130. So I think we started out at much lower levels. So that might be a knock on my play. I really did take too many loans from, or foreign investment and loans to support that. Probably didn't need as much. Definitely still needed it. But anyway. Alright, so we finished Magnox. Let's make sure we get... Yeah, I really think pop growth is something we're gonna need too. That's all these we need. This is problematic. Alright, let's go ahead and take nuclear energy. That way we have realistic political power to work with. I cannot afford a nuclear power like enrichment fuel rod enricher with an enrichment facility. So the fuel itself is going to be the limiting factor. So one more fossil fuel power plant is what the Greeks need. Just one more. And then I'll have kind of our baseline infrastructure ready, and we can just grow from here. Pretty much unstoppable. I won't have to spend factories on fuel. I am gonna go ahead and lower our corporate tax rate, I think, though, soon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that right now. I want it to keep dropping so that our growth rate goes up faster. Because our GDP per capita is going to drive a lot of what we do. Yeah, so we're down to 31%. Tax cost is 6 factories. We're getting 2.5 political power right now. That can keep going up when we put money into subsidies here. Yeah, so we can afford free emergency treatment. And that'll give us more population growth. And then let's see. We do have some experience for our units, so let's fix some of our designs. I don't know Greek. I have no idea what any of these words mean. I know that this probably seems like it's like air formation. This is about all I can add because there's like some English mixed in with this. So forgive me, all Greek watchers, but I'm gonna have to make this in a language I understand. So this is just gonna be our ground infantry. I can't with that. Oh, they added new infantry types? There's now ranger? What is this? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so ranger light infantry has debuffs in hills, plains, urban, and super city. Regular light infantry is hills, plains, and desert. So we can actually have rangers that are considered a special forces unit. Then you have regular special operations forces that get debuffs in hills, plains, and desert. The same as light infantry. So you have an urban and a non-urban option. Like these are good in the desert, the rangers. So are we gonna fight in the desert? Probably not. So light infantry. Line battalion slots are locked. To unlock, the player need to fulfill specific conditions. So they've changed the width management. I have to get rid of this. I have no idea what any of that is. This is gonna be. I mean, I could do like hoplites. Even though they don't have shields. They are our shield. But no, the Greek, we'll call it foot infantry. And then we're going to use a 2005 layout. We'll support these with light recon probably for now. And we'll give them... We're not going to be able to make vehicles at all, but definitely could make like infantry with maybe an artillery though. I could see us having an artillery piece. I do not see us getting a utility vehicle though. Not yet, but we'll try it. Maybe not. Let's keep it off. We'll remove it just due to cost. Name-wise, there's nothing there. Yeah, these are just purely... Why do we need tech metals? CNC equipment. That's what it is. Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and train one. One division. Should have a lot of leftover equipment though. So I'm not terribly worried about that aspect of it. But yeah, so we need small arms. Oh, here we go. We're gonna do everything without assigning a military organization yet. We need CNC equipment. Yeah, communications equipment. What do they need? Small arms, anti-tanks, man pads, and an artillery piece. So anti-tank. Get that off. We're not doing that yet. So they have man pads, anti-tank. And then we have one more facility that needs to be doing... We have trains now, so utility vehicles. Or no, artillery. Artillery, my bad. And there is our like shortage. That's what I was not expecting. I thought it would be here. It's actually on the man pad design. And we'll call... Yeah, this not updating is weird. We're definitely in a shortage. But it's not populating the shortage on my bar. Is this just broke? Are resources just fundamentally broke? Well, isn't that fun? That's really annoying. We can list total factories too. But Lines between Korea and Russia. So North Korea and Russia. We're getting our last road in Thessaly, and then we'll be getting our civilian R&D done. That's pretty cool. We do have 4 billion saved up somehow. I think we ended up taking a loan out, it looks like. Oh no. Looks like a plane crash happened. That's pretty sad. Prayers with the people that died, their families. Not good. Did someone attack our plane? Or was it just an accident? I'm very skeptical about these things. Yeah, and we can build a nuclear reactor. It's just really expensive. Definitely going to do that after we get the rest of this all built out. Also need to get our railroad research as well. We need that before the 2010 mark. And then, yeah, we're pushing 30% research right now. And then we'll complete our civilian R&D by 2007, mid-year, a little after mid-year. We can go ahead and pay that down. And we are over 400 billion in GDP. Let's see, national focus wise. We could use the Chinese investments. If we take the Chinese influence, we'll get enough money. We could get our actual nuclear facility up and online. I just really don't want to do it, but it may be more beneficial to do that than not. These are very quick here. Yeah, it looks like population. Poland, we're gonna decline. Definitely want these population bonuses. So there is a civil war. Bulgaria is actually taking advantage of this to attack. So we may lose Macedonia to Bulgaria. Yeah, it looks like Bulgaria's moved in. Okay. We need enough units to hold the border. Things are getting a little bit more spicy up here. For sure. That's fun. Too preoccupied with the problems at hand. Mixed economy already. We are a part of NATO, so we do have the good officers. It's just a choice about what do we spend our money on? Because we're basically... Sure, let's go ahead. We are friends. I'm going to combat foreign influence. And then we're going to have to... We're going to have to get military units. It looks like Bulgaria is aggressive. And they are aggressively expanding. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add... I want at least 6 divisions. For now. Yeah, so we're going to put everything up north. That should be... That should be fine. Maybe put 2 and 4 and split our army that way. What an interesting development. Things are about to get hot in the Balkans again. Oh, snap. Ukraine and Russia's popping off. The late 2000s is going off right now. Kosovo is attacking Serbia. Or being attacked by Serbia. It looked like they started it somehow. Yeah, we've got everything happening with Kosovo just capitulating to Serbia, so central Serbia, or like old Yugoslavia has split apart. Serbia is now uniting everything back. You've got Bulgaria taking Macedonia, which does have technology metals and precious metals. Oh wow, look at Bulgaria too. Yep. Okay, so this changes my whole plan of action here. So we're definitely going to want forts in our territory, not in Turkey's. So right on this river. We're also going to want coastals. At least there. And then that's at least a front line. State defense networks, we'll build those later. Poland, keep going. We don't want it. Air bases are nice, but pointless. We don't even have an air force. Honestly, civilian factories. We need them everywhere. And we're getting full bonuses from these states. So Thessaly, then probably we want civilian factories on anything with max roads right now. Can we not be out of order? There we go. And we got our first division from our modern army, not our, well, our modern design. Not really a modern army. Take the expert staffer every time with an infantry unit. And we're going to put this front line up here. We'll call this European Command. So EUCOM. And then we'll have an Africa Command once we have more. They remove the theater button? Or do I have to have 2 units? Interesting. Might have to have 2 different units to even make that function. And then we got 5 more we're working on here. Thinking we might add more than 5. Yeah, we're out of equipment here, so let's stop there for now. All right, pay down debt. And yeah, we'll decline investment. And we're gonna go with the first army unit, or army. We'll just call it army because it's a division basically. Very small unit. Anyway, I just realized what time it was, so thanks for watching. I'm gonna pop the stats up. I'll see everyone on the next one after we go through this. So GDP wise, looks like we are at $415 billion. We're catching up to Portugal and Norway again. Trying to see where Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is at 568 now. GDP per capita, we're kind of falling back, but we're making a little bit of recovery ground as we get more people in offices. Territory is going to be the same. Industry-wise, we haven't made any moves, but everyone else has. And they are, especially China, starting to build a lot of civilian factories, military industry as well. I would think Greece is actually pretty high. Yeah, we're fairly high in military industry. And then obviously we now have 1 unit. I bet we're close to the bottom. If not the bottom, yep. So we're right there, right over the Maldives. Bulgaria, I would be interested to know where they are, considering they look to be hostile. right here. So they have 15 military units right now. We're going to get up to 8, I believe. So maybe we'll be able to support that, maybe not. We don't have the manpower for more than that. So that's where we are. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one.